Hey guys, this is Christy. Before I start, we're going to go and do some sort of CromCon shit right now. So Phil will be on shortly, but I'll go ahead and play it right now.
Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Pops is a Muppet. Who would have thought? Anyway, so Phil is going to be jumping on right here in a minute. And we're going to go and hopefully I'll be home. Let me go text this guy. But I'm going to go draw something. So Frank Forte had a really good fucking thing going on, which was funny. So Frank Forte was basically had this picture on, and he's got like stuff going on right here where I did a thing right here. Hold on. There was one that was really cool, and he had like a vampiress right here. And it's she's like bald. She's more of a Nosferatu type. And yeah, Frank is a good dude. And she's holding a goblet of blood. Well, I think I wanted to do that, but as a parody, and I got his okay on it. And he's running a Kickstarter. It's called let's see, it's Asylum Press. That's his publication. Oh, Philip's taking a piss, so we got to account for that. I'm pretty sure I can entertain people more. So what I'm doing is that I'm going to go draw it. She's like holding a glass like this. I guess I could upload and do it, but I don't want fucking feel like it doing it. But I'll send it to Pops. Oh yeah, he's coming. I'll tell him I embarrassed the shit out of him. I'll send it to Pops real quick, this picture. And let me see, Pops, like right here. This is it right here. So hold on, guys. So I got this vampire picture, right? So this is Frank's comic, by the way. There's a Kickstarter going on. I don't have the link right now. But what's kind of awesome is that I'm going to draw a parody of it. I did get his okay. And hey, what's up? Let's see, Phil. Oh, add to stream. What the fuck? Anyway, sorry, Phil. I told him you were taking a piss. I'm going to draw it.
I wasn't trying to make that public knowledge.
It's normal, guys. Hey, Jim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a parody picture of the vampire right there, right? So she's going to be throwing up. And it was kind of funny because, like, some of my friends were throwing up this morning. So that's all I got to say. Anyway, so I'll draw it. So that's for your reference, guys. Whatever. I wouldn't make you mad, Phil. Sometimes I feel like one of these days I might actually piss you off. But then, like, a lot of my friends and I are pretty easygoing. So, yeah. I'm like looking at this motherfucker right here. So how you doing? Phil? Hey, Keisha. Did I put you on mute? Are you not? You're not on mute. Phil?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Huh? No, it put me on mute. I had to recheck my setup. It had me on mute. That's weird. Why did it do that?
I didn't put you on mute. Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Jim O'Reilly, Auto Parts. Jim's actually a really cool guy about it because he gets the joke.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, besides drawing this beautiful picture here for comedic effect about puking, here is something interesting I wanted to ask you.
What?
So, okay, so you know how we've been lately been talking about, Slumberland and how it's been a great film and such, right? And then, what dreams and stuff. Here's something interesting that I wanted to talk about. So I read an article this morning, right after my devotional, about like how psychologists will study dreams to see if they can unlock people's addictions, which I found fascinating. Like that your brain is trying to heal yourself from your addiction by telling you what would fix you so you would stop being addicted. That's
Really?
crazy, right? Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, I mean, because that's what fascinates me about science. Like, we get to learn all about all these cool studies that they're trying to do, and it makes me excited to see how far, especially medical science, is becoming. I mean, think about it. If we just went back and said, "Oh, the body knows how to heal itself, and it can tell us, gives us medical information," I mean, dude, I'm all game for it. That'd be fantastic.
Well, sometimes the subconscious shows more or teaches you more than what you
Hmm.
would like to realize, but you have to do it. I mean, despite if anybody, and again, if anybody kind of dismisses that, you can't really just dismiss that. It's like, there's Jungian and all this other stuff. And it's like, with like our spidey senses, it's kind of like we kind of make it woo woo to a point of like, oh, it's super spiritual. Now,
Hmm.
people might take this as me going like, oh, well, you're an atheist and everything. No, I do believe in very big things because, there's some things I can't explain it, but to explain it to somebody that does not come from that perspective or choose that perspective, I say you have to understand that maybe this is something you have to put it in the context of which they can accept and understand. And again, this is not down talking it, but like kind of like, okay, like one of my friends, he's an atheist, and he goes like this, well, I don't feel it in a church, I feel it when I'm outside. It's like, okay, fine. But what if
Right,
you could take a look at something like when I was just saying, like, faith is where we learn stuff from religion, but in all honesty, we're not going and doing that, like, necessarily from a religion. Like, faith doesn't necessarily require a religion to exist. And I know people might
right,
argue with me, but that's the first place where we find it. And some of the faith is, basically it's the trust in the unseen. Like when I've been
right.
looking at different schools of thought, it's just trust in the unseen. And, sometimes, yeah, you don't know what's going on. You could reason it the fuck away. But the problem is that reason itself is not the only thing that drives you. We're all driven by a hint of unreasonableness. I think that's the
Well,
right thing to say. I mean, if I'm just saying it in contextualization, I'm not saying like you are actually unreasonable, but everybody is. I just think it's interesting that, how people can go and eschew that when it's like you believe in the same stuff, kind of, It might not be
right,
the same beliefs, but it's like you have faith in something.
right. Well, it's funny because you say that because what was that famous scientist Degrassi something Degrassi, what is his name? Um, Tyler Degrassi. I'm screwing up this dude's name, but he pointed out that even though he's an atheist, he considers atheism itself its own religion, and he broke it down like this. Because of the fact that, like, what is a religion? It is a school of thought that you can't prove or disprove, but it gives you a moral basis or a moral compass for your own um, behaviors, right? And
Mhm.
so when you look at it, from that perspective, because some people, the reason why they become atheists is because, like, well, I've seen this religion do this, I've seen that religion do that, so obviously, I want to be a good person, whatever. And then there's people that see, certain religions do good, certain, in a way to that they want to be a part of it. So, I understand where he's coming from. And I find it fascinating how, you know, um, especially in today's society, that we've, I don't know, it's weird seeing schools of thought becoming so militant. It's so weird, so
Mhm.
weird for me. Like we were sharing before, like about like that Ray Comfort guy. I went and talked to some friends of mine that were in the Army psychological warfare, and they showed me some of the stuff that like the Taliban would say and do, and put Ray Comfort's teachings with it. And I'm not saying Ray Comfort's a bad guy, but it was exactly the same. They just swapped out Allah with Jesus, and it was exactly the same. The only difference is so militant thinking with any idea is very bad, and it's very dangerous. And people
Mhm.
just need to be more. Um, and I get it. Like some people gravitate towards certain ideas when someone's very charismatic. It happens all the time. Like no one like when people choose like these cults, and get mixed up in them, they go in it for right reasons. They go in for pure reasons. But like I always tell people, if you are so comfortable in your school of thought that you cannot just try to hear and understand where someone is coming from without giving them a rebuttal, you might want to rethink that school of thought. You know what I mean? And it's crazy how many people with that militant mindset in any form of communication when it comes to this stuff, like if you cannot take a joke about something, or you can't listen to the other side, you might want to rethink of why that is. You know what I mean? Because that kind of thinking does get dangerous.
Well, and also I think it's funny when people say, "Oh, don't think about it, don't do this or don't do that, Christy," and I do it anyway, and I'm like, "Oh, I ended up doing it. Guess what? I got hard for doing that, like fuck you kind of thing." I mean, you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about. I mean, there are times like, I need to give it a rest, like because my brain just constantly goes on this whole thing of like, oh, let's go ahead and talk about this, or let me look at this, or let me analyze it.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Right. And it's listen, well, that's because I'm going to be honest, you're probably one of the most punk rock people I've ever met. Like, oh, you told me I can't do something, or I need to do something, or I have to do something. I'm just going to go be me.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it's funny because like when I do it, it's like I end up regretting it because I should have explored it anyway. And it just, people are kind of like fucking intellectually lazy. That's what I think too. A lot of the time they don't want
absolutely.
To. And again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, people are stupid, because like, okay, then that's lazy in itself. I actually prefer to think that people actually just kind of are emotionally and mentally lazy sometimes. Like they don't want to take the work to get to what they want to do,
Yeah.
And it's just like, sometimes that's just generally true, but it doesn't mean, but when I say that a person is emotionally or mentally lazy, that doesn't mean they can't change. God, I've seen my relationships change with people like so much. And I never thought that was possible. So it's like, that's kind of interesting in itself too. I'm going to go save this.
Let's see. Demon Chicken. Let's see. Hello, beautiful people again. 222. Okay, just catch it up in the comment section.
Yeah. But yeah. So it's like, as I said, my commentary on it is that, I never take no for an answer. I don't like to be hopeless, because I think it's just like, because I was in a position where I was just fucked, right? Like I've told you about my health scare and everything. And again, I don't want to keep reiterating that, but the odds were fucking not in my favor. And somehow I turned the odds into my favor. So it's just, that's what you got to do. And that's it. That's what has to happen. But no, I'm just kind of like, sorry, I'm drawing her like especially sick.
That's funny.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I just got this thing that she should be vomiting. Yeah, I might as well do that to Frank. This is one of his characters. I don't know what the name of the character is, but she's like a vampirist, but she's kind of like she's patterned after Nosferatu, basically.
Nosferatu. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about Nosferatu is it's created like such great, folklore within the horror community that new stories can be created from, and different stories can be told. And one of the things I love about the old vampire myth is how much it was, it inspired the way we looked at the world in a positive way. You know what I mean? It was teaching us about evil on a, how can I say it?
Philip, you there? You might have lost. Oh yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah.
That is so weird. Why is that doing that to me today?
Yeah.
Not liking it.
Yeah. So what were you saying? Oh, I think we kind of lost him. Oh, he has to kind of jump back in. Anyway. Oh, there we go. Adam, you got it there?
Okay. Yeah. No, it's
Oh, I guess you're on mute or something's going on with your phone. Technical issues. What can I say? Oh, I can hear you again.
Wow. No, okay. So I see. I think I found out what's going on now. I have to adjust the my phone for like the screen to always stay on, because the moment it goes blacked out, you can't hear me for some reason, which is really really weird. Anywho, but what I was saying is Nosferatu is like the first social commentary in human history done in film. So that's why I love the character so much, because it's teaching a lot of people about horror, that we can use horror to point out like things we disagree with, or things that we find questionable. You know what I mean? And that's that's intelligent thought, and why it should scare you. Like why certain things should be looked at with a social lens of lack of better words, what the fuck. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, probably that's why I sort of like start laughing at certain weird bits of human psychology, and people are like, you can just forget about it, Christy. I said, no, I must analyze it because it amuses me. I have to
Right.
admit, maybe that's how I take after my cats. It's just like, hey Jay, what's up? I mean, some people people wonder why I own cats, and it's like they're very fascinating creatures. They basically don't pretend like they're anything less than what they want to be.
You know what's funny? What I found out about cats, I didn't know they were not native to North America. I had no idea.
Yeah, and the little
They were,
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the domestic short hair, and that's what happened. I think it was like from the European short hair.
Right. I just find it fascinating that that's just one of the breeds of animals that we brought over that wasn't just like the eucalyptus. We thought the eucalyptus would grow out here in California from Australia and be awesome, and it turned out that it wasn't that great for our building needs. But yet now we have like so many eucalyptus in Southern California, it's not even funny.
And I wonder why my allergies are so bad. Oh, but you're allergic to eucalyptus. No, eucalyptus helps me breathe, but it's like my allergies are shitty out here.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I'm wondering how yours is coming out, homie. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's throwing up. It's great. As I said, I asked Frank to do this. I'll send it to him too, so he could put it on his Kickstarter and amuse people or whatever.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's been kind of interesting to myself. Yeah, so I'm just like I'm looking at some political analysis today. I won't bore anybody about it because people they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I end up being right, so it's like kind of funny. I'm kind of at this point now where it's like, and I end up being right, whatever.
That's funny.
It's like I feel like I'm Muhammad Ali. You know how he's like going, I'm the best fighter, I'm the best fighter, I'm the best fighter, and everybody's all clowning him because at the beginning he used to lose a lot, but as he learned, he actually became one of the best fighters in the fucking boxing. He's a legend now. So it's like you kind of have to have that attitude. And some people might say, well, I know this artist and they're fucking truly a legend in their own mind. I said, well, really, they're not really a legend, to be honest. If they have to be arrogant, usually it means that they fucking don't know dick or they're lacking somewhere as an artist. The thing is like, you have to have an attitude that you have the best art, you're the best artist, but you're using that inner knowledge to find the advice best suited for you to become that best artist. I never was into that school of like self-deprecation, but because I noticed artists would actually get more victimized as a result about it.
Oh, that is so true. Sadly, like it I don't know. It's weird to me sometimes how that works. I think that it's more of the crab mentality,
Very ill. Remember how we were talking in your show about good people? How come they end up fucking losing all the time because they're mistaught what certain concepts are? That's one of them. Humility is like, oh, constantly put yourself down. It's like, I'm not a fucking weak piece of shit, Like humility is like, okay, humility is like, I understand that there is certain authorities that I have to give credence to, depending on what that is. and I have to give respect to me, that is humility. That is respect. But if you're saying humility is like, I'm not that good of an artist and fucking only charge like $100 for my drawing, it's like, go fuck off. Like, stop. That's not how you, that's not humility. That's being a toad. And again, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that just, I understand, but like that is a very unhealthy aspect of our society on that level. I don't care who you are. It's like everybody tears each other down like that. It's like, yes, there is that crab mentality, but it's also like sometimes it's like, and some people may hate me. It's like you sometimes have to make fun of people that are fucking egregiously so terrible. And then people say, oh, and we'll go to jump to this political figure. I'm not even talking about that. Like, honestly, like the thing is that you should be able to express your ridicule. Now, if people go like, oh, then you need to be nasty. It's like, I don't need to be nasty. I don't need to be nasty at all. But accept the fact that, you know, some people do deserve your ridicule or non-respect. Does that mean you have to go out and burn their car? No, you don't have to.
Yeah. And it's I don't know, homie. I find it weird to, you know, like to me that, you know, when people, again, I agree with you. It's like we need to relearn what it means to be humble. You know, like being humble is you're great at something, but you don't brag about it. You know what I mean? Like, the best way I can just, you know, describe it is when I went to seminary, you know, ironic enough, I learned that when Jesus was talking about being meek and things, like think about it. He is the God of creation, right? According to my religion. And he was saying, I can destroy you right now, but I'm choosing not to. Mm-hmm. I'm choosing to give you peace and humility. Like, that's what it means to be humble. See, you know what I mean? It's choosing to be like you're great at something, but you're not flaunting it. You can do great things, but you're not trying to, you know, destroy someone's character with it. Like saying, oh, you know, kids drawing with their crayons trying to learn art. That doesn't mean if you're Picasso, you go sit by the kid and ridicule his art and show him how great you are.
Yeah, like remember, okay, so I went to this thing called Cartoonapalooza. Great event, by the way. And a lot of them were young people. And like there was an art show, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, art show, right? Some of my friends were joking, like, oh, how come you didn't enter that art contest? I said, I would be kind of a dick doing that. They were mostly young children, young adults. Like, you know, okay, I'll draw a stick figure, ha ha ha, I beat those kids, you know. It's like that's kind of shitty, you know what I mean? It's like that's not something like I've got years of experience. They do not yet. Doesn't mean that they're going to be terrible or they're shitty or they're not going to be good. It's just, come on, like I have to compete at the same level. And it's like, if I'm going and trying to fuck over kids out of a prize, I mean, that's kind of shitty too. Like, it's like, there's a reason why there's certain grades of certain things because you're matching against your peers. It's like, they're not my peers in the sense of age and experience, but that doesn't mean, yeah, it's not down talking. It just is what it is, you know? But yeah, some people were like, oh yeah, you should have entered that art contest. I said, they were mostly kids and young adults. Like, no, you know, should I be that dick and do that? Because there's some people in the industry that do that. And I think that's really shitty. Or in cosplay. That's what I've heard too. They're fucking dicks when they do that, you know?
Yeah.
Respect that. You know? I'd rather go against things about my own peers. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm a Ringo Award winning artist. Come on, right?
Right. I don't know. I find it interesting that, I don't know. It's. I think we need to cultivate more artists, young artists, to come up and do it. Teach them, of course, the right way of doing things, but without being monsters about it. You know, yeah. Like it's weird how many big time people. And it's because I'm trying to talk to my friend Isaac to come on to one of our shows to talk about it. He was just critical of like how he didn't care for the new Grifter comic, and the new artist on the new Grifter comic attacked him and just tore him a new one. And all he said was, "I don't care for the new design." That was it. And you know, it was just like, dang, you know. And here's Isaac. Now, Isaac, thankfully, is an indie artist, but he, you know, he makes more money selling his books himself at cons and Kickstarters than if he were to go work for Marvel or DC.
Yeah.
And the fact that like this guy went on his post and ripped in the new one, it was like, dude, come on, you're like quote unquote professional. Like you're gonna get critiques. If you don't like what someone says, just ignore it. And the fact that the guy did was just
I was telling you about some things that people said about me, and that pissed me off. I knew it wasn't true, but it was like, yeah, fuck that person. After I vented a bit about it, and I was done. We were talking about that earlier, and it was just like, fuck that person. They are assuming that, and I have never said that, and they never talked to me about that, but they're working on estimation. All right, fine. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like, you're assuming I'm that hateful. Fine, whatever. Fuck you too. So it's like, you vent about it, you're done, but you're done with it. It's like, I don't feel like being hateful or calling this person out online or whatever. It's just because it's just not worth my fucking time. It's just, it's annoying to me. It's like, okay, so you think this? All right, cool, whatever.
I don't understand. It was funny too, because Isaac put an apology letter like, dude, all I was saying was, I don't care for it, and you attacked me. And honestly, I think the reason why this guy attacked Isaac is because Isaac has a huge underground following. You know what I mean? So what Isaac says.
So he just got all butthurt and he did it. See, that's the thing what kind of annoys me. It's actually not done out of defense for yourself. It's done for clout.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the fucking stupidest thing that I've ever seen. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're all on social media to get attention. Okay, that's what social media is for. Just what do you go about getting the attention for? Like for me, maybe I could go and start yelling and talking shit about people or doing goddamn 5-page screeds about something or another. I'm sure people will totally listen to me. I mean, I'm being sarcastic because like I'm listing examples, and it's like, usually most of the time when people write 5-page screeds, nobody gives a fuck anyway. They don't really have the attention span for it. So whenever I write something, I make sure I'm deliberate about it. But at the same time, I notice my one-offs actually make people fucking laugh. And I generally do it to make people laugh. But also I am at this point now where too, it's like, I just rather put up my artwork. Fuck you. Like I put up the new Demon Bitch because I was talking about healing from shit. And I was like going, it fucking sucks to heal sometimes. It hurts. Everybody thinks, oh, it's this bandage and everything. It's like, no, sometimes you got to debride the wound and it feels like shit. But you have to do what you got to do. But conversely, I don't like it when people hurt you and they say, well, this is supposed to heal you. It's like, no. Or they try to scar you too. And it's like, go fuck off. I've just never been okay with that, and I think I find that very offensive to me as a person, about that, like I'm going to scar the shit out of you. And it's like, okay, I don't know why you fucking want to do that, but all right, fuck off, dude. So Isaac Newton. Which Isaac are we talking about? I mean, I don't want to draw attention to it if you don't want to. I'm not trying to ask you
to. No, it just so he goes by Isaac Bell. Really good guy. He's made it public. He does not care. He's a really good comic artist. I was working with him in 2014 on some stuff that went out. But other than that, him and his fiance are doing a killer comic book right now called it used to be called Full Metal Devil, but but I think they changed the name to, give me a second, the name is, dang, my memory is just sucking today. What is it's oh crap, now I gotta look through my emails.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm looking at this. So I'm just kind of looking at that. And Isaac pop on the channel or something. That'd be cool. I'd be interested in following him. Oh, fuck. I didn't look at this picture anymore. Hold on. Now I got the Critical Blast song in my head. God damn it. Anyway.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, so originally it was called Full Metal Devil, and then he turned it into Metal Shape. He does really good stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but anyway, I still can't believe that guy from DC. All Isaac said was, "Oh, hey, I like this version of the character better," in a jokey way, and the guy just attacked him. It's like, dude, it was a joke. Calm down.
How old was the dude that attacked him?
Oh, probably in his 50s.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, well, whatever. I never understood that either. I mean, I guess it's because like you're feeling afraid that the world will pass you by. I know I've had those feelings myself. So again, it's not mocking anybody. It's just like, yeah, I can kind of understand maybe the point about it, but I don't think it was really warranted. It sounds like.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was a meme, literally. All Isaac pointed was, this is what fans want. Put the original Grifter photo. This is what we're getting, and put the new one. And that's all. It was just a simple meme joke, whatever, and just critiquing like no one cares for the new look. And the guy just ripped him. It was like, dude, come on, it was a joke. Lighten up.
Right.
Mm.
So I'm putting more shade on her boobs.
Oh, gay.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty funny. Like, ugh. I don't know what it is about me making things barf. It's really funny.
That's hilarious.
I am fucking mature. What can I say?
Well, it's all right. I like how petty you can be. It's fantastic to watch. Oh, you pissed me off.
Well, I was going on about that. And I like it when people do this sanctimonious thing where they go like, well, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to talk. I'm like, yeah, you do. Fuck off.
Mm.
You do, kind of thing.
What was funny is there's this artist I follow named Kiki on Instagram, and I wanted to send it to you. I want to do it. And then her boyfriend goes, in the skit, the boyfriend goes, I know we just had an argument, but don't tell your mom, because, her mom, she's Korean, her mom's Korean. And in the skit after that, her and her mom are like dancing together, and it went to the song called "I'm Petty," and like sharing that they're gonna share, and then you just see the boyfriend all tied up in a chair with a gag in his mouth. That shit was so funny.
The funny thing is, like, it's hilarious because, like, it's funny because I actually am not as petty as I could be, or that I want to be. Honestly, like, I'm actually not that petty, which is hilarious. I'll just point out something funny that I find very amusing. And then people get all mad and they say, like, I don't know if that level, if I'm like that person that's just petty in the right way that it upsets them or something. I'm not sure, because sometimes it is pretty funny, like make jokes about a person, but it's like not the person didn't deserve it or something. That's what I think is kind of funny about it. They're like that mock sense of decorum. I mean, there's like obvious things you don't want to be petty about, because if you value having a relationship with that individual or some sort, like, yeah, definitely you shouldn't. But I'm just kind of laughing at these assholes that go like, you shouldn't be petty, Christy. That's not, like, okay, whatever. That's why that's why I find it funny. It's like I'm gonna laugh as much as I can about this shit. It's so funny. But yeah,
I don't know. I think some people. I think some people just don't mature past a certain age. It feels like.
And that's why Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, go ahead. But that's all I'm saying. I think some people mostly don't mature emotionally past a certain age, which I find interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's like this big source of like, oh, well, I have decorum and all that. It's like, you fucking don't. Fuck off. Like this fake sort of sense of decorum, and it's like, you don't really have that right now. I have this fake sense of maturity. No, you don't.
Oh, I definitely don't have decorum. Like, especially when it's people that tell me a joke, right? And then later on, when I re-say the joke that they just said, they're like, "Oh, don't say that, whatever." I'm like, "You just said it 5 minutes ago." So that's when I stopped not caring about decorum. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, whatever. All decorum means is you're going to be a hypocrite. You're not going to be your true self. That's
pretty much it.
You know, like, I'm not going to put a muzzle on myself of who I am. If you just don't like me, you know, leave my phone number.
It's like you were doing the same exact shit earlier. Fuck off. Now, I understand if you don't want to go do stuff in public versus private. I get that. Like, there's certain things we don't say in public that we say in private or whatever, and I get it. But it's just funny. I just find it amusing because usually these people tell me to shut the fuck up, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Or you're wrong, and then I go like, I'm not wrong, but okay, whatever, and then I end up being right. I mean, I know that sounds very, very, what is it? Very, 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 what is it? Pontification about me, but I always do my research. I always do my fucking work on shit. So it's like, yeah, okay.
Hey.
You know, and it's not it's not being right for the sake of being right. It's just, I know I'm right because I just fucking think it out. It's not rocket science. Neon green bar, I think it might as well be. I mean, she's kind of like gray colored. So I kind of want to.
Phil has the McCrispies. Snap, crackle, pop. Sorry about that. I was hungry, so I was eating a bowl of noodles.
Is that what it was? Holy shit.
Yeah. Yep. Dude, I was starving, man. I swallowed that thing whole.
All right.
Isaac, let's see. Neon green barf. Oh, that would look cool.
I was actually thinking of doing, who the fuck is running a goddamn chainsaw out of my fucking window? That's annoying as shit.
Well, yeah.
And people are like, damn, Christy. I say all sorts of shit because fuck it. Why not? Yeah, I'm looking at analysis. It's like, Christy, you shouldn't do half of this shit. Oh, I ended up doing it anyway. Oh no, what am I going to do? I hope, I kind of want a Mace Windu to go up and say, Yoda told you no, motherfucker. What are you going to do about it, bitch ass? Somebody wrote that in a fake script for the prequels, and I was kind of laughing. I want to train this boy. And it's like, Yoda told you no. What the fuck do you want, bitch ass? Like, Samuel L. Jackson being fucking Samuel L. Jackson for how many things? So yeah.
That's true. He's one of those actors that he doesn't change who he is. He just reads the lines. Like him and Christopher Walken are like those actors that just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. Okay, let's see. You're eating chicken or beef noodle? Oh no, I was eating the shrimp one. I put some Cholula sauce in there.
Yeah, it's not fucking pot noodle because pot noodle is disgusting. I tried pot noodle. It like really tried to be ramen, but it sucks. It's like, Christy, that's what I used to say about our neighbors across the pond. It's like, no, you fucked up ramen. I mean, even cup of sodium works.
Yeah. Oh man, I was just starving now. Good Lord. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, all right, I'm gonna swallow down a cup of noodle and call it good.
I fucking hate cup of noodle now. So it's like when I learned how to cook real ramen. If you want to be cheap as fuck, just get the ramen noodle out, boil it, and then fucking add whatever you want to it. Don't fucking do the other shit with it.
Oh, there's this one cook on Instagram that like that's what he does. He takes ramen and he makes like epic gourmet dishes out of it, and it's crazy what he can do. I can't remember his name. I'll have to look, but I want to try some of his recipes. I want to boil up the noodles. I want to like cut up some bacon, fry an egg, and make that Korean mayonnaise where you just take the egg white and then pour the oil and whip it. You know,
that's every mayonnaise. That's every mayonnaise. That's how it's made. Yeah.
Oh, I know, but he adds that fish sauce and that other really spicy sauce to it. You know what I'm talking about? The one that they put on the that mayonnaise that they put on What is that dish in Korean? Damn it! I swear my memory is so bad today.
That's okay. I was stupid today too.
But yeah, it's that one where you add the chili sauces and stuff,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and I want to make that dish so bad. It looks so good.
Oh, Pop said he did that in prison. Yeah, there's a lot of shameful things you can do in prison. Eating ramen is one of them.
Oh, you mean was it ramen spread? I learned that there was a guy I was serving with in the army back in when the Afghan war was, and he taught me how to cook ramen in a bag because he was one of the few soldiers that were. It was like, okay, listen, we know you're in jail for this crime, but if you served, in the Afghan war, we'll let you go. And so he decided, okay, I'll do that instead of getting this on my record. And what he learned in the county while he was waiting for that judgment, if he could do it, they taught him how to make this thing called spread. And it's actually not bad. Honestly, some of the jailhouse food that they learn to make
Yeah,
is not bad.
Pops did it
It
in
really
prison.
isn't.
You think he did worse
God
things in
bless you.
prison? Sorry, Pops. I was that had to be said.
You're so mean.
I'm an asshole sometimes, dude. I don't know why some people are my friends. But I think that's what people like about me, because I'll say the shit no one else will say, and it is actually funny.
Yeah.
Then Pops goes unfriend.
Unfriend. Walk.
Like, oops. Yeah, it's weird. The more impetuous I am, people like that more. It's funny. I don't try to get too nasty though. It's just there's a level of nastiness you shouldn't have with people that you like. I think it's like this. If I can take what I dish out, then I know I'm being fair.
Yeah. Right. Well, and not only that, like when you do your jokes, you set it up in a way that people know it's a joke when you're doing it. Like when you were, when you make that quick quip about me throwing up this morning because of my gut issue, like it was funny because the way, the only person that knew was me until I,
You said a
just
bunch of
said it.
shit right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like most people, when they try too hard, and then it comes out offensive because they don't know how to dress the joke. And you do, and that's good. That's why I think you're a really good comedic artist with Demon Bitch, because you know how to dress the joke. You don't have to. You don't have to be a vile person to make a joke that makes people laugh. Like that's what the greatest comedy people did.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But yeah, Pops is quiet. I did that in prison. I always like making fun of shit. I mean, I think it's also stemming from the fact that I had a lot of horrible things happen. So what kept me from fucking going off the deep end, I think, was humor. Sometimes, my friend Tony will say the funniest things, and how he says it, I'll just kind of imagine him saying it a certain way. Like, my sister saw this picture and she laughed at her. Christy has expert joke delivery. Yes, I do. Zing! So, yeah, it's kind of funny because, really brash people, they say sorts of shit, and I guess one could argue that I'm brash, but it's some people say shit I don't care, this is how I am and I'm tough, and it just seems so affected to me. Because as I've gone through life, I realize that people that just say that shit the most tend to be the most vulnerable inside. It's kind of sad because that's how they think that they have to act, is sort of semi-callous. No, if you don't act this way like me, then you're calloused. And it's no, not really.
I don't know. Some people, that's one thing I don't understand about today's climate, where comedy can't be comedy anymore. It almost feels like, there was this one comic, and I shared it over the phone with you, where he was telling a joke. The woman in the front row had asthma, and she was laughing so hard that she passed out. And so they had to rush, to get paramedics and whatever. And then the guy does another joke, to make the woman laugh about the situation. And a woman in the back row was all like, well, that's not funny. You should be making fun of her for having asthma and passing out over laughing so hard. And I'm an EMT. That's so disrespectful. And the comedian goes like, where the hell were you when I asked if there was a doctor in the house? Like, because he was trying to make sure she was okay. Like and they stopped the show and everything. And the girl did not once move up off her butt to go help out. That's nuts. Like,
oh yeah, I love those people. It's like, you're supposed to go and advocate for me, but you don't do shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of this couple that told me that, it must be hard to be Asian because they gave me pitying looks. I'm like, I don't have fucking Down syndrome.
What?
Fuck off. Oh yeah, they're from
What?
Portland.
Oh, that's so horrible, dude.
It's like,
So horrible.
Okay, so you're trying to be nice to me, but instead you're being condescending. Very good.
Yeah.
That's why it's like I kind of snort in the laughter of the face of like a lot of things that are quote unquote diversified or diversity,
Mm-hmm.
because it gets to be actually kind of borderline insulting how they employ it. If you can't do it well, it's just very bad. I think I did touch upon those things when I saw in Wakanda Forever.
Right.
So I won't get into them because people like the movie too much, and I don't want to ruin people's things. But after the hype has died down, we can probably discuss that more. But I have discussed that with some of my friends, and we were kind of laughing about that.
Well, you know what? One of these times, what I want to do is when we go back on the comic pulp, I want to like look at all these lovely comic book movies and explore all their flubs. I love finding flubs in films. I really do. It's the most entertaining thing, Like my greatest flub in a film that I've ever seen is in Ocean's 11. Brad Pitt is eating shrimp 1 minute, then he's eating a sandwich, and then he goes back to eating shrimp. It's like there's continuity, and then the conversation doesn't change, the scene doesn't change. It's just what he's eating. Like no one picked up on that. Like it was funny.
Oh, no one picked up on a lot of things, and I think that was hilarious too.
Yeah. So, or like in the new Blu-ray version of the 1981 or 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton, you could see all the wire work because the shadows that hit him are no longer there. Completely
That's because they did
ruined.
not have post-production. They
Yep.
did not have adequate post-production for such a thing.
Well, I think they were hiding it with the shadows in the original, like to make it cheap. And when they put it on Blu-ray, it's like it took away the mystic of it, right? Just like when they put Buffy the Vampire Slayer on Blu-ray, there are certain scenes where they're doing a pan-out shot, and you see the film crew in the background, the entire film crew.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like Blu-ray with certain projects, Blu-ray messed them up really bad. Like because it the way they were shot. Yeah, they weren't formatted, and so like Blu-ray like opens up a lot of funny things, and it's just hilarious. Another instance Blu-ray did was expose that the Michael Keaton Batman was wearing Nike shoes, the famous Nike shoes at the time.
So they had to resize this motherfucker.
Yeah, so it's funny, but I have the 1989 Batman movie on Blu-ray, and yeah, the Blu-ray took away the shadows that they used to hide all the small little things. But now when you watch it, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And I'm not trying to crap on that movie because I love that movie. That Michael Keaton will forever be my Batman because I was 10 when that movie came out.
Weren't they doing a thing where they were going to do all the Batmans in one thing, but they were going to go and like make him into the older Batman, like 2099?
Oh yeah, so that's the new Flash movie that's coming out. Yeah, the new Flash movie that's coming out. It's gonna have Michael Keaton's Batman in it. It's gonna have Ben Affleck's Batman in it, and I know they were trying to pitch to bring Robert Pattinson's Batman in, but that didn't work out because because of just scheduling conflicts. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens for the Flash movie of 2023. Um, it was I like the trailer. I'm excited to see Michael Keaton as Batman. But at the same time, I gotta laugh at the fact that like they buried the Batgirl film because apparently it was so bad they couldn't release it.
Yeah, and then they go and like, oh, it fucking sucked because people don't like girls. I'm like, then half the fucking people like can't breed, right? At least half the people
Yeah.
in the universe or some bullshit. I mean,
Honestly,
I just
honestly, this is what I think what really happened in the movie. They're trying to use today's cultural climate to say like why it couldn't be released. They're fueling the fames on both sides, like like where the left is going, oh, they buried because too many people were hating on it in the internet, and then the right and the right side saying, oh, it was probably too much of with the left's agenda, blah blah blah. And honestly, when you learn about the fact that it's a corporate merger that's going to make two companies a ton of money, I'm pretty sure they buried the project on purpose for a tax write-off. 100%. I don't think it has anything. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact it was for
bullshit.
Exactly. Give it time, and I think like. And this is what I don't understand is like why didn't they just release it on like HBO Max? But then my friend was telling me about how much money that they're going to make because that's the reason why HBO Max is cutting all this content off their platform. It's not because they want to lean left or right. It's because the quarter for taxes is coming up, and they're trying to have to make profit as much profit as possible. And how do you do that? It's showing that you don't have as many assets as you once did. And it's like, yeah, it gets muddy, man. Like, I'm pretty sure they pretty much just...
Oh, there was a rumor that Batgirl wanted to get a Keaton's Batman. Really? I didn't hear anything about that. But... I mean, it's kind of funny because, like, there's some things about Batgirl that they changed, and I don't know if I agree with them. I think it kind of seems silly. I mean, not the Batgirl movie. I know nothing. I have no opinion on it. It's just, as I said, it's just like, it can't be just about girls sucking. It's just like the Ghostbusters movie with like the four women. I'm pretty sure that would have been fucking funny, but I heard it wasn't really that good. That's just what it was,
I watched it. I was excited. Because I was like, okay, they did a different thing with it. Like it was for women, whatever. So I was like, all right, checked it out. But when I went and checked it out, I'm not gonna lie. I walked out of the movie theater like halfway through the film. Like all the jokes were unoriginal. Like, and usually when you go to a comedy, you want a new joke. It was like they took old jokes from the 1980s and rehashed them and just flipped the script. That's it.
It seemed like it was kind of like a mirror universe of fucking Ghostbusters in the 80s. It sounded like how they wrote. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. And then the other thing too that was kind of, another movie that got buried. Well, there's been like 3 movies that I know that got buried for tax purposes. Batgirl is pretty much being the number one because it's catching so much flack. So of course, the media companies are trying to drum up both conspiracy theories from both the left and right viewpoints, obviously, because they want to keep their viewership. But at the same time,
it's like, honey, in this business, drama runs everything, if you notice.
Exactly. Because, most people, like, I wouldn't be shocked because the tax quarters coming up that's the reason why Marvel buried the Blade movie. Like, they fired the director and the actor walked away, and they pretty much killed it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised that we find out that was a tax cut purpose. I mean, these companies will do it.
That was the movie that originally supposedly did not have the first black superhero in it, which is funny because it did in the 90s.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes. I gotta say, Wesley Snipes is a fucking awesome actor. You know why? And I will tell him why. And it's not like you necessarily need to take the role to prove this. But here's the thing. What made Wesley Snipes and that whole gang, I mean, John Leguizamo, he could do it because he's a comedian and improv has to do it, you know, and I'm not saying that those guys didn't, but you took the manliest men in Hollywood, big time action heroes, Patrick Swayze, heartthrob, you know, Patrick Swayze is the heartthrob. Wesley Snipes, you know, he was the badass, you know, he's the bad guy in Demolition Man, right? You take two of those actors and they can play the best drag queens so goddamn convincingly.
Yes,
that is why I have to respect fucking Snipes and Patrick Swayze as actors. Just because they were
I mean, come on. You've got the biggest, I mean, in the 80s and 90s, those two were like the action stars that you would have never saw that coming. You know what I mean? Like, at all. And they like, you could see it, like you said, John Leguizamo, you could see it because he's a comedian and he likes to do shock comedy, you know? But
it's like
Patrick Swayze, but Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes putting on drag and carrying, like, doing a movie like that? Oh, dude. Fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that was what was brilliant about that fucking movie. And some people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's how it fucking was, dude.
Yeah. And it was brilliant. It was a brilliant film choice. And the movie works. That's the best part about it too. That film works. Now, but I can't help but feel like that was a ripoff of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, though, because the same premise.
It was.
Yeah.
But it made it. They made it into the kind of their own thing. Like, it wasn't like a shitty ripoff. It was actually a decent ripoff. Like, it was like, okay, it's kind of the localized version of it, even though technically it's out in Australia and everything. But it was like funny because like they were all drag queens that looked like they were coming from New York or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen both, but I just remember seeing both films, and I learned that Priscilla, Queen of the Desert with Guy Pearce came out first, and also the guy that played Red Skull, and he also played V for Vendetta. What is it, that actor's name?
I know who you're talking. He played Agent Smith. And
Hugo Weaving.
He's an elf motherfucker, by the way. I see why they cast him as a fucking elf as Eldron. By the way, I hate elves, guys. They're inherently racist pieces of shit. They should have stayed racist. And people are like, damn, Christie. No, they should have. That's the point of fucking elves. They're a bunch of fucking assholes that think that they know better than everybody, but it turns out they fucked up the world worse. Thank you for giving fucking Sauron all the fucking rings of power, you idiots. Sorry, I'm just ranting because people are like, no, we need to make elves and dwarves diverse. No, you don't. Each fucking culture has their own like suppressionist, revisionist type bullshit or whatever. And I think it should stay that way. It gets to show how stupid they fucking are. Because I grew up in that whole thing going, I want a fucking elf chick. Wow, Philip, you're like quiet.
Yeah, that was weird. Man,
Oh, I thought you were shocked at what I actually said. I should have known better. Wow, everybody's all quiet. Yeah, but elves are assholes. I don't like them. They can go fuck off. Every story now has elves are assholes, and I'm like, that's good. They should be assholes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, they're the elitist assholes. I mean, some people say like, oh, well, they're supposed to be angels, and like, you know, the whole thing about the thing of God, the allegory of God, and I kind of get it with Tolkien, you know, and all that. Although I think, wasn't he an atheist or what? I can't remember.
No, okay, so it's kind of interesting. This is going to piss some people off. I watched the movie J.R. Tolkien, and here's something funny. Him and the guy that did the Narnia thing, they originally were not, the guy that created Narnia, he became an apologist for Christianity, but
yeah, like C.S. Lewis was hardcore. He was like, he married a Jewish woman from the States. She was divorced, and he adopted her kids. I forgot what movie it had Anthony Hopkins in it, but she later died of cancer. But she actually converted to Christianity too. But they got married. Yeah. So anyway, yes. As an aside, guys, you can watch that. But anyway,
Yeah, but Tolkien actually was he did eventually become an atheist, but he was still impacted by Christianity to the point where some of that stuff made it into his works in the original Hobbit. But the more he developed the characters, it kind of strayed away from that as he was developing his own world. But yeah, so but that's what happens with war. Like when going to therapy for Afghanistan, it's interesting to find out like how many great creatives used their writing and their art to vent out war that they experienced. Like literally, everything about the Lord of the Rings is a subversion of what actually Tolkien went through,
yeah,
and
World
helped
War
invent it. Yeah, and Jack Kirby did the same thing with his art. Ian Fleming, that based off in his experience to create James Bond. In fact, the James Bond stuff was a lot more creepier because I read Ian Fleming's notes and that they gave to us, and one of the things that most people don't know is like everyone always because of our upbringing with 80s action films and 90s action films, the heroes always have Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo always have like these big machine guns to like, and they're carrying them. They're made to go on like tanks and shit, and having bolts around their necks. And like so when people look at guns now, they're like the small one's the weak one. In actuality, it's the more practical one because most people don't know this, but the 22 caliber bullet is the most used bullet in the world. So it is most unnoticed when people buy it, and it's a subsonic bullet, so it doesn't go through the wall. It goes into the back of the head or in the front of the head, and it doesn't leave. So you don't give away the chance that when you're going to assassinate somebody, it's going to hurt. And those were literally even because most people don't know this, but James Bond originally was supposed to be an assassin. He wasn't supposed to be a spy. It wasn't until much later that he learned about this card game that the Nazis, Russians, and Americans would have during World War II to get information from each other at a local area, that he went there to investigate as a naval officer, and he changed it to a more spy-like character. And it's very fascinating.
Well,
very
what's also
fascinating.
interesting, it used the old tropes like homosexuals are evil. Like Blofeld was supposed to be intimated that he was gay, or he was written in the books as gay, but he was this evil mastermind. So it kind of added to the sinisterness about it a bit. Again, I don't support that. I'm just saying that's what they thought then. Jay said, weren't elves supposed to be assholes in old folklore, like they were tricksters? Oh yeah, they were fey folk. They were pieces of shit. Like they were changelings. They would steal your kids. And I don't think they were that kind of changelings, but changelings weren't actually these nice things like werewolves. That's actually a completely different thing. The changelings are basically little fairy folk that steal your children and leave their own to be sickly like a fucking cuckoo. And elves were just like these little. I mean, the thing is, I could never think of elves as fucking sexy, because like every time I think of them, I think of the Santa shit, and that kind of weirds me out on a certain level. And then you have elves like I just fucking hate elves, because it's like when I used to like role play, I would never role play as an elf, but as a human. I don't know. I just ended up doing that. That's how it worked out. And, but I just thought it was stupid, because I always found out the ugliest fucking people would always play an elf, and they would have horrible body odor. And I'm like, I'm an elf. It's like, no, you're a fucking troll. Stop. Probably obviously really gross people, like people that like never fucking shower type gross. It's not like, oh, you're big, you're ugly. No, I'm not saying that. It's just they were people that were really genuinely nasty, and they would play elves. Maybe that's another reason why I hate elves, because they're like, that gives me a reason. See, I'm an elf. It's like, you need to shower. Please shower and change your clothes once in a while. Please, like, launder them or air them out or whatever. But yeah, elves in folklore were just supposed to be nasty little trickster pieces of shit. I think depending on the lore, they actually stole your baby and left their own sickly baby for you to raise it. So yes. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, whatever. Fuck elves.
Yeah. Listen, homie, my doctor just tried calling me, so I gotta log off real quick and call her back. So this is me bouncing. Sorry, homie. I gotta get going for a second. All right, man.
Okay, bye-bye. So anyway, yeah, so here I am probably offending all the people on the face of the planet, but oh well. Apparently that's what you like me for. But yeah, so elves are assholes and I don't like them. So I don't care if like anybody says, but we have to make them better. I said, no, I fucking hate elves. Make them the worst possible things on the earth, but they're pretty. Anyway, yeah, Charles Schultz. I'm not surprised that he put in a lot of World War I imagery. A lot of people are inspired by real life and everything. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, so how's everybody else going? Whether I went on that little rant about elves because I hate elves. Actually, it's funny because Charlie Stickney wrote a really good book. I haven't read it yet, but I've read White Ash, which has one of the characters in the book called Glarian, and she's a psychotic, murderous bitch. But I do suggest you go to Charlie Stickney's thing and pick up a book. He just left Scout Comics, but he still has White Ash. So pick up White Ash. Cheap plug. So anyway, wow, everybody's all quiet now. Did I shock everybody into silence? Amazing. Well, I wish I could play music, but then I could get fucked over for royalty shit, but whatever. But anyway, who should I bring on? Anybody want to come on in? I'll give you a fucking link. I'll bring in Quentin. Quentin, are you up for being brought in? How are you doing today? It's going good. I'm actually kind of hungry. Oh. Oh, that's nice. Somebody really liked the comic I put out today about Demon Bitch and Healing. So Demon Bitch and Healing, this is what it is. It's like I just kind of made fun of it right there. So, but yeah, I'm really doing pretty good. I'm actually kind of hangry because I ate a big breakfast. Now I can't remember what the fuck I ate, but I ate breakfast. I know that. Oh God, my memory loss has been lame. But I've eaten. Oh, I ate a bunch of dumplings. That's what it was. So I was able to go as fast and far as I could today. But I'm getting hungry and I'm kind of getting like, oh, I need to go and eat something to replenish the blood sugar. But other than that, it's been good. I joined it, but no one's. Well, we listened to Rice Krispie treats earlier, so why the fuck not, Pops? Get your ass on here because I go ahead and.
Cause I'm working. Crunch, crunch. Man, I'm busting it all down, Christy.
Oh, really? At least
Yep.
you have food. I'm hungry right
We
now.
added Ask Chuck Dixon to the Madness Comic Network this morning.
Right?
We're up to 25 shows. We have 2 in development. One with everybody's favorite Lucifer Storm.
There we go, dude. Lucifer's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. I liked it how he just sat there and watched Rich and I just be absolutely disgusting.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And yes, I am smashing nachos because I'm freaking hangry.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point. I almost want to order food, but if it wasn't like $50 a fucking order, I'd get it. I'm kind of pissed off about that. That's the only thing that sucks. But yeah.
Well, see, I'm a creative eater, and we made some homemade chili last night. And I was like, damn, that chili would make a great nacho dip.
Well, I mean, like, I can cook too, but I'm kind of doing this show. So it's like, yeah. It's not like, oh, shit, my food's here. I better go down and get it, you know?
Mm. Oh, that's good.
So do you like my fucking puking Nosferatu?
Yes, I do. Of course I do. I sat here and watched you create it.
Yeah, I know. I like it. She's like, ugh. I was kind of like inspired when Phil told me he puked this morning, so I had to go from that.
Who told you they puked this morning?
Oh, Phil.
Oh.
He's puking. Ugh. Oh, and also I got to put my fucking over thing. So if you guys also want to go to my shit, here's like the QR codes on the right there. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's been pretty funny. Ooh. I'm kind of tired myself. been kind of a weird like set of parameters right now, but I think it'll be all right. I join you, but nobody wants to listen to me crunch tacos. Well, you're not really crunching tacos.
I'm trying to be quiet, Christy. I'm
It's okay.
trying. I mean, I could just like get all up in the mic and
Actually, that would kind of add to the humor of the show, like gross, disgusting noises in the background and shit.
listen to me eat while her subject pukes. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that works for Demon Bitch, right?
All right, so
Ooh.
I'm going to need from you, Christy, a show for next summer out there, a West Coast show that's not sold out, that we can smash for a booth.
Smash for a booth. I'll think about what I can do. I'm just thinking.
I'm paying for it. I just need one that we can get into, because right now it's like a lot of stuff is sold out already.
Really? Shit. I think I have a couple of contenders. I'll talk to you about that.
All right. Because we definitely got to do the West Coast at least once, preferably twice. We got to go everywhere this first year so I can figure out my budget going forward.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like I typed to you a couple of things
I seen that.
In the personal comments. We could talk more about that, but yeah, I think those are the two off the top of my head that would be quite willing.
Cool. That's what
the second one might cost a bit more, but I'll go ahead and talk to them about it or something.
I don't think money's gonna be like I said. I'm trying to budget out what this all costs, so I definitely need a high end. I need a high end one so that in the next year when we want to go to a more expensive one or whatever, we know we have a budget already for it. We have an idea what it's going to cost. Yeah. So I want to do at least one high end show this year just so that we can get an idea what it's going to run us going forward. Especially if we want to do it 2, 3, 4 times during the year, we need to know what it's going to cost. Everything else is very smooth right now. Tanner and Chris and I worked out some stuff on paper. Got the Roku channel budget figured out. Got everything rolling just fine. So got as long as we all stay in communication, everything will be perfect. And I'm jacked because the channel we just keep drawing cool people bringing their shows to our network. We got you, we got Mike Barron and Jeff Earls, we got freaking Chuck Dixon now, we got so many people doing draw streams, Rich and Eric Boyd. Stephen B's gonna do a show on Saturdays. It's just gonna keep blowing up, man. So
Hyde Hermit, basically. Hyde Hermit's doing a lot of stuff too. So yeah.
Yep, I like the consistency. Everybody's been making their shows, and if they can't, they send me something recorded that I can put up in place. A placeholder. So I'm having fun.
Sounds very good. I approve.
Now, what do you not like for the very immediate future? Anything?
For me? What would I like for immediate future?
I mean, you got anything in your immediate future shows or anything you're going to be at? I think you got one, right?
Yeah, Militia City. That'll be this Saturday at Adults Only Bar. No, it is not a fucking strip club. It's just a bar. It's like kind of a dive bar. It's kind of like built like a Blockbuster. I will be selling my comics there. And then the next one is LA Comic Con. Now, I don't know of any signings that I'm going to do, but I'll put that up there on my website. So go ahead and scan that. Red QR code, guys, and you can go and see my appearances because it will list it as such.
And when's the LA one?
The LA one is on 12/4 to 12/2 to 12/4, excuse me, the 2nd of December to the 4th.
Right. I really didn't know there were any in December.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like LA is kind of on a constant thing right now.
But we want to have a show to go to in February and a show to go to in March.
Okay. March,
April.
I think I can do. February, I kind of have to look into it because nothing has popped up for me quite yet.
And a whole bunch of that early stuff's already sold out too. That's the issue I've been running into.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that March might be open, so I can go and talk to them about it and talk to you guys about it and see what's going on.
Right.
And I could do that off the air and shit. So we
Right.
can go ahead and talk about that. So, yeah, I mean, there's that too. So, yeah, but it's been pretty good. I'll see what's out there for in February. I haven't heard of anything yet solid for me. So we'll go from there. I mean, maybe I'll have to do signings or some shit. I don't know.
That's the fun part of the roadshow.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the retailers on like Monday, turning Monday Madness into a signing show at a different retailer every week, or at least once a month after the con, right? Where we just take one of our artists to a retail store, do a signing, and promote it on the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get more retail store exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Got to give them more reason to be part of what indies are doing. You know, we got to include them if you want them to include us, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the store, offer to come in, sign some books. Tell them you'll promote it on your social media and you'll try to bring fans into their store. That's what they want to hear.
Yeah, I think also the most important thing is like have their handle on social media so you could tag them and a hashtag.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's like a lot of people are like, man, retail stores won't pay no attention to us. Well, are you paying attention to them? Do you give them love? Do you come out here online, talk about your LCS?
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Maybe they will put you on their shelves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There is that.
I still have that dream of going to my local comic store and buying all my friends' books without having to pay a single one shipped. I'm tired of fixing Bezos' wallet. I'm tired. I'll fix RJ's wallet. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. Bezos is very interesting. And Musk is interesting, the whole thing. Because I'm like sitting there looking at Twitter and looking at all the supposedly educated opinions about it. I said, if I know the trend of like some of the businesses that some people have done, it takes it about a month or so until it solidifies and settles in.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's kind of funny that they're judging it like literally the day after he bought Twitter. Oh my God, all this shit is. It's like he said he was going to restructure the company. I'm pretty sure he took that into account. I mean, the guy's had 3 fucking successful companies. He's running 2 already. I'm just kind of laughing about it.
The dude's putting rockets in space. Leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, I just find it funny. Like the comment, the basically the layman's term. But I'm angry at him. But he does electric cars and shit. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, okay, whatever. You know, I'm just kind of laughing about it. It's like, all right, you guys are very, 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 very cherry picking. But I just find it interesting. It's like with any sort of trend or any sort of thing that switches over, like for Twitter and shit. That just amuses me to no end. That's all.
I just crack up every time.
Well, I mean, I'm also from Silicon Valley. I've seen this shit happen so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what companies are going to fail when they're super bankrolled, and you kind of have a sense of what companies are actually. Because you have the people that actually do get a lot of investors, but they're like shit at maintaining a company because they're very wasteful of it. And Twitter was indicative of that. They spent $400 a person on food. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of money per person. You know, I mean, hey, great on you. I mean, I'm not trying to say that's bad, but that's probably why they weren't really like too profitable.
How do you make money if you're paying somebody what most people have for a grocery bill? for their lunch breaks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
$400 a week is a month is a grocery bill for a normal person.
yeah. So it's like interesting because it's, as I said, it's funny. So I mean that's why I'm kind of amused by it at this moment, because it's like this type of stuff right now with Twitter. It's like they're all doing the Monday morning quarterbacking. And it's like, you do realize this guy's simultaneously running 2 other companies quite successfully, right?
And he did this for shits and giggles more than anything else.
Yeah, he said, I'll take over Twitter. Fuck it. And he said, let me make it into something that's kind of cool. I mean, this is a guy that revolutionized payment plans with people.
Mm-hmm.
PayPal. Oh, but PayPal sucks. He sold that company years ago, honey. Keep up with the times.
Yeah.
My
It didn't suck when he owned it.
Huh?
It didn't suck when he owned it.
No, it did. I mean, it kind of was slow and it took its time, but so was Amazon at the beginning. They sold mostly books, and then they became that powerhouse they are today. Now they're going like, oh, well, you know, now he's got to lay off 10K people. I'm like, that's a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure he still has a lot of people still, you know. That's a big ass company to lay off 10K. Sup, Pops? What Q's asking about? How's it going?
What's up, Q? The thing that freaks me out is like I hear things, right? Like FedEx is not hiring seasonal employees this year. So if you ship,
might have hired too many people.
No, I mean they're not hiring seasonal employees. This came out like a month ago. They're not hiring seasonal employees this year. And
well, that's like, what I mean. They may have hired too many people in the recession.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at it like this is when your volume increases. The season, you know.
Their volume may have increased, but it's not there to justify pricing, which is interesting to me.
I wouldn't be using any company that's not hiring extra help for the Christmas season. I'm just saying. Sounds like there may be delays over there. I mean, you could be right. They could have enough employees already, but I can't see how they'd not have already laid all them people off if they had extra employees. Everybody else is.
Well, I know that a lot of people were begging people to work for them post-COVID. So I'm guessing they probably hired a fuck ton of people, and then they just said, oh shit. Then they probably expected to hire more around Christmas time, and then the recession hit. So they're like, oh shit. So inflation hit. And also delivery got way more expensive. Because I mean, if you think the post office is expensive, look at fucking FedEx. They're way more expensive.
Yeah, and they're the ones not hiring anybody.
Yeah, so there you go. They're kind of fucked on that level. So that's kind of interesting.
And yeah, you can end this whenever you want, babe. You don't have to be out here for any certain time.
Well, yeah, but I like doing that because, you know, I like to go and have that polar play. But yeah, no, I'm going to go like log off soon because I'm actually getting hungry, and I'm not getting hungry in the traditional sense. It's getting the faded kind of hungry, which is not a good thing.
You're tired of listening to me chew on nachos, ain't you?
I don't know if I want nachos. I do want something else.
This was really good. It was a great idea.
Right?
Nachos and chili, people. Try it. It's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm sending Frank this picture. He might use it in his Kickstarter. And that would be helpful to him because I think he would appreciate that.
And Frank is a good dude. Longtime friend of the madness. We promote him.
He's always been really nice, you know.
Yeah, we promote him when we see him. When we see his stuff, we make sure we share it. He's one of us.
Yeah, he's a very sweet guy. So Frank Forte, if he has his he's posted his Kickstarter. I don't have it handy, but let me go find his Kickstarter. But if it is there, go ahead and do that. All right. But you guys, you take care. You have a great day. I will speak to you then.
Peace.
Bye. Do you want to go and play anything ending or something?
I will.
Okay, let's do that. Oh, we forgot to play my intro. Oh, fuck. Anyway. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month